Hello, hello. Hi, good morning. Okie dokie. Right. Um, my brain's a little all over the place right now. My sleep schedule is like super weird at the moment. I keep flipping between sleeping for like 10 hours straight and then only sleeping like 3 hours the next night. So it's been fun. um, but hi, good morning. I hope everyone had a lovely weekend. I'm just gonna quickly copy paste that. Give me 2 seconds. So my GPU is struggling a little bit right now. Um, the reason for that is because when we played the non-existence of you and me, I don't know if you guys remember, but towards the end I couldn't figure out how to save, or like I did figure out how to save, but it involved getting back to the main menu, which I didn't know how to do. And so I was like, oh, I'll just do it in my off time. Turns out, apparently, you can only get to the main menu once you finish a chapter, I believe, is what some people were saying. But even still, I'm not 100% certain. So, all throughout the weekend, I've just continued to have the game open and have just been like sweating and praying that my power wouldn't go out at all this weekend. um, so I hope you guys are cool with it, but I was hoping to play until the end of this current chapter today, just so I can like actually do things on my PC this week. Um, because it's been a little bit difficult to use my PC for a whole lot else. Just because the game uses a lot of GPU. And so if things get a little bit laggy, let me know. Um, but yeah, hopefully we're fine. Um, mine's been a consistent 8 hours, but at random times of the day. Honestly, I'll take that, bro. Although I guess it's like if you have like a job with a schedule, it can be kind of difficult. I have a circadian rhythm disorder. My doctor said it's called polyphasial sleeping. Not to be confused with biphasial sleeping. The biphasial sleeping is when you sleep in two segments instead of one. So instead of one 8 hour segment, you sleep in two 4 hour segments that are like scheduled, and you have no problem like sleeping on time. You just happen to be doing it in two different chunks. Polyphasial sleep cycles, that's what she described. I could be wrong, but she described it as a circadian rhythm disorder. And she said the way that it affects me is what my body often needs changes. It goes through phases. And so I might have like a 1 week or 2 week period, sometimes even a few days, where a period of time where my body feels like it only needs maybe 8 hours of solid sleep, but then it'll switch to um, sort of like a biphasial sleep cycle where like I maybe sleep for 4 hours, I'm awake for 12 hours, and then I need to sleep for 4 hours. But then it'll change again, and I'll need to sleep for 6 hours and then be up for a couple hours and then be asleep for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. Sometimes it's just a 6 hour chunk. But basically, people's internal sleep cycle, like what their body actually needs in order to feel rested, it's not always a solid 8 hours. In fact, it's um, a lot more common to have something a little bit different. So, like some people, their bodies just need 9 hours, or some people only need 6 hours. Some people actually need a biphasial sleep cycle, and as well as different times in the day. Sometimes people feel more well rested when they sleep during the evening rather than at night or in the morning. And our bodies are kind of just like built like that, essentially. Um, and But for me, for people with this particular sleep disorder, that inherent need is constantly changing without my knowledge, mind you. And so often I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, what does my body need today? Um, it can get quite annoying when trying to adhere to like a schedule. Um, because like for 1 week I'll be sleeping 8 hours, and then another week I'm sleeping for like 4 hour chunks, and one of those 4 hour chunks just happens to overlap with something that I have scheduled that's important, and it's really annoying, and it often leads to me not getting enough sleep. Um, and then on top of that, I also struggle with insomnia from time to time, which I think I'm also dealing with right now. So, your electrical bill would be fried if you don't finish the chapter today. um, yeah, I mean, I'm not, I'm not like super concerned about my electrical bill. We have a program that helps low income people cover their electric bills. Um, and whatever you don't use for that uh month or whatever, um, it gets kept on your bill as a credit. So right now I have like my electrical bill right now is like minus 400 something. Because I just have so much extra credit like built up and it doesn't go away. Um and So I mean I'll probably be okay. But yeah, I'm more concerned about like the health of my PC. Um yeah, cuz like my cooling's not like terrible, but I do worry about it running like this for an extended period of time. I worry about like if that's maybe not the healthiest thing for my PC. Oh my god, so I watched the VOD from last Friday, and I didn't realize. I'm so sorry to anyone who was wearing headphones. But I completely blasted you guys with a cough straight into my mic. I didn't realize because when things started to glitch out, there was one point in the stream before I adjusted everything and fixed everything. There was one point in the stream where my GPU was just maxed the fuck out, and I think and then everything started to glitch out. Like it was actually kind of creepy when I saw it. Um but I think what ended up happening was my GPU was already really really struggling, and I needed to cough, so I hit the toggle for the cough animation, and I think that just sent my GPU like over the edge, and it just made everything like super fucky. But I think during that process, it didn't mute my mic. It was supposed to mute my mic. The same toggle that I have for the coughing animation, I also set it up so that it would mute me. Um, but it didn't. And so as I was coughing, I was also looking over to my task manager and my OBS and stuff to figure out what was going on. And so I turned into my mic and just coughed straight into it. I feel so bad. So yeah, sorry about that. But yeah. Um I think I'm pretty happy with uh what was I gonna say? I'm pretty happy with this audio interface though. The audio quality is not perfect, but there's definitely a noticeable improvement. It definitely also helps that like my particular microphone, there's the option to use USB or you can use XLR, an XLR cable. I wasn't able to use an XLR cable before, because you need some type of preamp, specifically with phantom power, because for this dynamic mic, and I believe for most dynamic mics, you need power flowing into it, and the USB cord does that. Like it takes power from the PC and gives it to the mic, at the cost of audio quality. But when you're using an XLR cable, you need like you can't just do like XLR to USB to your PC. It won't transfer power like that. So you need something like an audio interface, specifically one that transfers phantom power. Um, and so what was I gonna say? Anyways, but the point I was trying to make is that using an XLR cable is the ideal, because it's better quality sound, and like using an audio interface, you're able to boost, how do I explain this? Like the mic gain, the mic volume, as you're speaking. You get to boost that before it even reaches the PC, which for a dynamic mic is really good, because dynamic mics without that kind of boost, often the audio coming into the PC will be very low. And so your voice might get mixed in with a lot of other noises that might be going on. So, like things like popping, or background noise, but even static from the whatever cable you're using from your mic to your PC. Yeah. Um, and so yeah, I'm just really happy. And I'm really happy that I have like a semi decent setup that is relatively cheap compared to what you might see from maybe a lot of streamers. My audio setup is like just maybe just under 200 Canadian. Sorry, my voice is so rough. Yeah, sorry. Like I said, I didn't sleep super well, so I didn't have time. Like I normally part of my setup is like I try to warm up my voice a little bit beforehand. I didn't do that this morning, and it definitely shows. It's fine. My headphones are always at bare minimum. That's good. Um, I do also have like a limiter set on in OBS, so I believe I have it set to -10. But basically, like if the volume in my mic reaches a certain level, it'll just stop it. Like not make it go silent, but like it'll stop it from being louder, essentially. So I can get like super close and I could like yell into my mic and it'll only go up to a certain decibel, which is good. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my setup because I mean most of the issues I was having other than the popping was basically addressed. So and even the popping has gotten better for sure, because I'm able to be farther back from the mic. Now that I'm able to boost the the mic volume before it reaches my PC, I'm able to sit a little bit further away from the mic. So that helps prevent a lot of pops, which is good. But then I was also having an issue where, because my voice is the way that it is, um, like, and also because I'm the way that I am, um, the volume of my voice can be quite inconsistent. So like I'll get really quiet sometimes without realizing it, but I'll also get really loud sometimes without realizing it. Um and so I have things set up in a way where like if I do get quiet, you guys can still like kind of hear me. And if I do get too loud, like things stay kind of stable for the most part, which is awesome. I'm really happy about that. Like as much as I need the money right now, I think I mean, like I don't really need the money. That's sort of what I was getting at in the last stream where like I don't need the money. But it is nice to have. So like I have considered returning the audio interface. Um, but it was only just under $100 and to me it feels like an investment. Um, I think I'll be fine. Worst case scenario, my plan with Knox's vet appointment is if by the end of the second month I don't have um, enough enough money saved up, or it looks like I'm not going to, um, then the third month I'm probably going to take a break from streaming, and I'm just going to go maybe crank out a few shifts as a server, or um, like maybe go back to like for the longest time I was doing like kind of like beta testing and reviews and stuff uh like remotely and even like surveys and shit. And I was actually making pretty good money. But then I started making even better money like through passive means and I just haven't really had a need to work really. Um but yeah, I'll figure it out. I'm not too concerned. But I do have yeah, I need to mess with OBS more. Yeah, OBS is very interesting. I'm learning a lot. I mean, if there's anything you're curious about, definitely throw a question my way. I might be able to answer it potentially. Because it's really interesting what you can do with OBS. And I've spent so many fucking hours in OBS. Um, just because mostly for mic related reasons because my voice is just so fucked all the time. Getting my audio right, I've spent so many fucking hours, so many hours. Um, and the majority of my overlays are directly in OBS as well. The only overlays that I have uh, that are not local would be like having chat on screen is through Stream Elements, but everything else I just added locally. Where do you go to beta test? Oh, it's just like basic sites, like user testing, is the big one. User testing. Uh, I was making really good money through them for a while. They started having some issues though, that sort of like made me kind of take a break and just not really want to go back once I started making passive income, just because I don't know, like I just wish they screened their researchers maybe a little bit better. Is all I'll say. I'm not allowed to talk like too much about it because you know you have to be uh like respectful of confidential information and whatnot. But yeah, I was having a lot of issues. Um, a lot of issues with researchers who just really didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Or like and that kind of stuff. And it was for better or for worse. Like I consistently had like a 5-star rating on that site because um I'm very knowledgeable about their side of things, like research and development. And so often I would meet uh, a researcher or I would do a test for a researcher and I would end up giving feedback and basically be like at the end of the test, I would be like, hey, if you're looking for XYZ result, I would probably try asking like this question or like tweaking this question or something like that. And people would really like that. It's just, it's annoying as shit when every single test I was doing, there's like something wrong with it, or um, fuck Figma. I don't know. I couldn't figure out how to segue into saying that. So I just came out and said it. Fuck Figma. Don't fucking use Figma. I don't know if people still use Figma, but just don't. Just for the love of God, just don't. Um, because especially if you're like getting people from user testing to test your shit, because most people on user testing are using Chrome as their browser, and Figma, if you don't use Figma right, it'll take up so much resources on your PC, especially memory. And Chrome already does that. And so, um, like most people who get a test that involves using Figma, um, you often can't complete it unless you open it up in Firefox. And um, yeah, and then there's just other issues too, where like they'll put a password on it, but then not give you the password, so you can't even do the fucking test. Um, but I was just getting really annoyed just because not just the Figma part, but like a lot of a lot of researchers were submitting tests that had issues to the point where I was basically like either returning every single test after already spending like 5-10 minutes on it, which that time does add up and you don't get paid for it, or um like if you report too many for having issues, you get in trouble for that, right? So often you would just have to return it. Um, so like I'd be wasting a lot of time, um, and not making any money from it. Or there was a really really big issue at the time with researchers submitting tests that took significantly longer than what they were allowed to be submitting. The tests should only take like a certain amount of time, but they would submit tests that would take like triple, quadruple that amount of time. And you wouldn't know until like halfway through the test, and at that point, you're already like 20 minutes in. And it just there were like for the longest time when I was doing that, when I was like on user testing for the longest time, I would only have issues like that like once a day, and I would be doing like 10 tests a day. But towards the end, like it was basically every other fucking test. And I once I started making passive income, I was just like I don't want to fucking do this anymore. Um, because it was frustrating as all fuck, and I didn't need to be doing it anymore. And I wasn't like making a lot of money because of all those issues. Maybe they fixed it since then. I doubt it, but maybe. Um, but at one point, I was making insane amounts of money from doing tests on there because I had a really like consistently good rating. I was getting a lot of live tests where you meet one on one through a virtual call with researchers, and those pay really good money. And I was having at one point I was having like 3 or 4 a week, and yeah, it was pretty good. Um, and then the second biggest earner was probably Prolific. It's a survey site. Another one where I would get a lot of tests because I had a consistently good rating for a similar reason, just a different like type of work, I guess. It was mostly just surveys. But they paid a lot better than like any other like weird survey site that you would see. I definitely like if you are looking into like doing surveys, I would definitely look into Prolific because like also the surveys and tests and stuff that Prolific has compared to the other sites are actually just like kind of fun in comparison. Um, and a lot of the researchers there are from universities, either as students or as professors who are like doing their own research work. So if you're a really big fan of being involved in the field of academia, um, it's a lot of fun as well because a lot of them are very like genuinely passionate about the research that they're doing, and they also really liked it when I would give feedback on how to like improve certain tests and stuff because like especially the students because they would like I would get a survey and there would just be a few things in the survey where I'm like I know what they're going for and I know like I can tell that they're like a student and it even says in like the description that like they're this is like for grad school or some shit. I was like I know what they're going for. I don't think this is how they're going to get there. And so I would give them feedback and they'd be like, hell yes, thank you. And I would even have professors who I would give feedback to, and they're like, shit, I didn't think of that. Um, and uh, yeah, there was one point in time, brief point in time, where I did this as like a self employed thing as well, where I worked with businesses. Um, and I would like help them out with their research and development and like basically do the same thing essentially um and I liked it. I really liked that type of work and I would have loved to continue it. It's just it's work and I really struggle with existing. And it was pretty difficult to keep up with things like schedules, like even the stream schedule where like I stream maybe like 3 hours a week. Even that I struggle with. Um, uh, but I do miss it, and I think like at some point when making content, I kind of want to get back into reviewing things because I don't know. Maybe it's the autism in me, but I really love picking things apart, analyzing them, and like finding ways to improve them. It's like everything that gets handed to me is like a mini puzzle, um, in a way, if that makes sense. And I genuinely enjoy it. I would love to get back into it. Um, so that might be a future thing, um, ideally. But yeah, I'm gonna grab some more coffee. There were a few other sites that I was trying out. I actually, the reason why I got into that stuff was because my health was getting worse to the point where, like, I was really struggling, um, like holding down a job with like a normal schedule and stuff. And so I was looking into that type of work because it's a lot more flexible and I can do it from home. And uh like that's why I started looking into it. I wouldn't mind like doing a video on my experience because at one point just keep in mind I was like it I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be embarrassed cuz like I think it's kind of cool. I'm a I'm a huge slut for spreadsheets. Um freaking the Excel sheets as they say. Uh but I'm a huge lover of spreadsheets, and at one point I was trying out so many different like survey and testing sites and stuff like that that I actually made a spreadsheet in Google Sheets to keep track of all of them. And like as I was testing them out, that way I wouldn't test one out and then maybe a few months later forget that I tested it out and then, waste my time trying it out again. So I actually had a spreadsheet that I had and every single one that I tried, I like tracked. Um, like how much I think off the top of my head it was quite a while ago, but it was like figuring out like if like how much time am I spending versus how much am I earning, is it worth it, basically. And then determining from there like what the best options for me to dedicate most of my time towards. And I basically ended up settling on user testing and prolific as the two biggest ones. And then there were a few other ones. I can't remember off the top of my head. Cloud Connect was another one. I didn't get a lot of surveys through them, but the surveys that I did get were very similar to what I would see on Prolific. Um, and then D Scout was another one. I didn't get a lot of tests through there either. But the ones I did get were similar. They were like mostly live interviews, so like video calls and stuff. And I really love that. I wish I could talk about some of I wish I could talk about like my like individual experiences. Because I didn't often get tests on D Scout, but the ones that I did get, um like every single researcher that I met uh through that app was like super nice and just absolutely lovely to meet and just talk to. And yeah, it was just it was great. Um but I didn't get a lot through there. But those were my top ones off the top of my head. And then yeah, like sometimes I would do like the self-employed one. Although honestly, the self-employed, I actually didn't love it as much just because I had to do like my own lead search and like sale calls and stuff like that. And like I have experience doing that, but I don't like doing it. I'm not a I'm not a bad salesman. I just don't enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like when people talk about like when it comes to a job, you have a job that you're good at, and then you have a job that you enjoy. And ideally, you want to find one that covers both. When it came to sales, because I have worked as a salesperson before, I was decent at it, depending on what I was doing. Um, but I did not enjoy it, and it showed in my like performance, basically. Um, Granted, I was also just not in the right type of sales for me personally. Can't talk too much about that, but yeah, I don't know. It was just annoying. I don't like it. Um, but I have done work where like I've given um like uh words brain is not braining. It's like the words are in my head, they just won't come out. I don't know why. Like I have done work where like I've helped businesses like improve their sales strategies and their sales approach. When it comes to actually doing the sales myself, no, I don't love it. Um, too much peopling, I think. Too much peopling. Um, oh yeah, PC setup reviews. Um, I mean, if companies want to send me a free PC, then sure. Um, the thing is, like, I don't think they would though, because like I I don't know if I would be the best content creator to sponsor unless your company is like super open-minded. Um, just because like I don't like being dishonest. Like I like to be like brutally honest. So like I don't like the idea of getting on here and being like, you should try this, like you're gonna like this. I'm the type of person who would get on here and be like, if you like XYZ, you might actually like this. But if you're not a fan of ABC, then like this might not be the thing for you. Viewer setups. Oh, interesting. I'd be down. Yeah, if you guys want to, like if I get enough submissions, then absolutely. Uh, I've been wanting to do like those types of like review your viewers whatever like submissions. Um, I don't know if I have enough people who would submit. So I'd probably have to wait until I get like we have more people in the community. Um, Otherwise it might end up being a pretty short segment. um, but I don't know. Unless there's like I was gonna say like a subreddit for it, but I don't want to go on like a subreddit and start just like critiquing people's shit without their consent. Um, but yeah, I'm also maybe I've been trying, not like actively trying, but like it's an idea that I revisit every so often. I'm a really big fan of like looking at homes, and I don't know how to describe it. Like I'm a really big fan of interior design, but also just like home design in general. And sometimes when I'm bored, I'll just like look at homes in my local area and just like I don't know, like review them, I guess, in my head. Um and like some of them are like crack houses, like they're weird. Um but some of them are nice, and I don't know. Like I wouldn't do it with ones in my area in particular, but I have toyed with the idea as like either a stream or whatever. Um to like review houses, just random houses that I find. Um like in somewhere that's not where I live. But I I'm not sure. Like I would have to look more into it because I want it to be like genuinely entertaining. So it's a content idea that I would have to put a bit more thought into. Um, but I think it would be really fun. And that also kind of reminds me. Again, I don't know if this would make for good content, but another thing I like to do in my pastime is sometimes I'll open up Google Maps and I'll just like pick a random ass place in the world. I'll just drop a pin literally wherever. Um, and I'll go on Street View and I'll sort of like take a digital walk through that area. And sometimes like if I have questions, like I'll like Google them about like the area, almost as if like I'm a tourist or some shit. Um, and I find it really fun. It wouldn't be like funny content, but like I find it's an interesting way to pass the time while also learning a bit about different places in the world that um I didn't previously know about. Which I think is kind of cool. Um, have you tried GeoGuessr? Um, I would love to try GeoGuessr. I think you have to pay for it. And I'm just like not super interested in paying for like a subscription or some shit for that type of game. The free version is World Guesser. Interesting. I'll make a note of that. I'll look into it. But I remember I looked into GeoGuessr and I just got like a weird vibe from it. Because like the second I clicked on the website, every possible opportunity that they could take to like be like buy this thing, no, buy this thing, you have to buy this thing, oh, you if you want this thing you have to buy, like there was just so much like buy it just integrated into the website experience that it honestly it just kind of turned me off from the game altogether. um but I'll look into it. Okay. um Actually, why did I open, I'll post it here. Okie dokie. But I do want to try it though because it looks like a lot of fun. But that's sort of what prompted me to look into the wiki game. Because it It's not the same type of game, but it has like the same like feel, I guess, where it's like you're rushing against the clock against other people trying to find this thing. I think it would be really fun. With that being said, I'll probably be terrible at it, just as a forewarning. I do not work well under pressure. I don't. I'm very anxious. I'm a very anxious person. And I probably will not be very good. I'm also terrible at it. Yeah, I'm down to look into it. Now, I did want to play. Oh, one other thing I want to talk about before we transition to the next thing. Um, you guys probably noticed at the bottom that I do have like the like a little promo for the Nox tea. And yeah, that's like again completely optional. But there is the 20% off store wide. So if there was anything else in the store that you guys were looking to get, and you just wanted it to go on sale, it's on sale. Um, and you just have to use the code Stinky Boy at checkout. And I have a little bar. Fuck my throat. Please don't actually fuck my throat. Okay. Uh, yeah. So you guys probably noticed that the bar at the bottom, um, there's already $500 in there, and that's my money, like that I already have in my savings. It is all the money that I have in my savings, but it's fine. But I'm also gonna be contributing because like I said, like I'm gonna be saving up for this regardless. Um, like I'm gonna be putting money aside for it regardless. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like I should be able to save up in time, probably. But it's really just a matter of like the sooner the better. That I can get him in. Um, knock on wood. I don't want to jinx it, but his asthma's been pretty okay as of late. It's mostly during like peak allergy season that it tends to get really bad. And I think we're slowly starting to come out of that, which is good. But I was getting a little concerned. Like a couple weeks ago, uh, like as spring was slowly starting to like come in, um, it was like a couple times a day he would have an asthma attack, and I was getting very nervous. Um, but yeah, it's it's a thing. It's a thing. Um, and they did say that I had the option to hold off on the blood work and just do the X-rays. So like he would still need blood work done before going on uh, like any steroid medication. But they did say that the blood work is important to um, like catch any liver kidney issues before giving him like general anesthetic, for example, like that kind of stuff during the X-rays. Um, and the way I see it, like he has a lot of medical issues. He's been on medication and whatnot, um, for allergies and stuff for a couple years now. He is young, but he's a special boy. He's a special boy who's been on a lot of medications, and he has been on steroids before, which is not fantastic on their kidneys. So I figured I'd like to be like, it's better to be safe than sorry. I don't really like to take risks on their health. Um, and I think it would only save like 300 out of the 1200. I'm pretty sure. So I'd rather just do the blood work preemptively. Because The thing about like kidney issues in cats is like you you often don't notice until it's too late. Which is why like I always suggest if you're able to, uh once your cat reaches like roughly 9 years old, um like routine blood work to check liver and kidneys. With Hazel, because she's in pretty good health, we're doing it every 2 years. Um, but that was only because her blood work came back pretty good last year. So thankfully we didn't have to do it this year. It's about like $300, um, just for that, on top of everything else involved in an annual appointment. Anyways, I should stop talking about money because it's like the second I started talking about vet bills and money, like all of my energy just like flowed right out of my body. I'm so like it's not even the money, it's like the money and then but also like my baby's having like medical issues and stressing about that as well, and I just stop, Ivy, just stop. It's fine. It'll be handled. Um but yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I wanted to at least finish this chapter of the non-existence of you and me. I do want to take like a quick maybe like 10-minute break just to use the washroom. Um, Maybe like pop a cough drop in my throat, in my mouth, just to like reset my throat. That would be fantastic. So I'm going to go take a little break, and I'll see you guys in like 10 to 15 minutes.